Stepney the Bluebell engine was returning to the Fat Controller's railway. All the engines were very excited. When he arrived, they blew their whistles and cheered with all their might. "Welcome, Stepney," called Thomas. "We're glad you're back." "Thank you," said Stepney. "I'm happy to be here too." Later that day, Duck and Stepney were talking. "You know, Stepney, the Fat Controller says I'm good with trucks. They always do as I tell them. That's why the Fat Controller gets me to shut them in the yard." "You're a very clever engine," replied Stepney, "but I've heard that managing the trucks on Sodor is a lot harder than it sounds." Duck was indignant. "What nonsense! It's as easy as can be when you know what to do." And he rolled away crossly. Duck had been sent to take a goods train from Wellsworth Yard all the way to Marron Station. As he was getting his train ready, he bumped the trucks hard. They didn't like that. "Pay Duck back! Pay Duck back!" they muttered. Soon Duck was on his way and everything was running smoothly. But then there was trouble. As they came over the top of the hill, the silly trucks began to shout loudly. "Hurrah! Hurrah!" they cried. "Bump him! Bang him! Throw him off the rails!" Duck's driver applied his brakes, but it was no use. The trucks pushed them on. Down the slope they went faster and faster. When Duck opened his eyes, he found he wasn't on Edward's line anymore. The tracks beneath him were old, rusty, and overgrown. There were trees and plants everywhere. Just then, the Fat Controller arrived. "Duck," he said, "it seems you have made quite the unexpected discovery. We shall start work soon, and before you know it, this will be a really useful branch line." "Oh, thank you, sir," replied Duck happily. "But, I know, Duck," said the Fat Controller. "I shall send for the breakdown train, and we'll get you out of there in no time." Soon Stepney arrived with the breakdown train. "It doesn't look like you're so good with trucks now, does it?" he laughed. Duck was ashamed. "I'm sorry, Stepney. I shouldn't have been so certain I was doing everything right." The two engines soon got to work clearing and repairing the old branch line, and in the springtime bluebells covered the ground. It was time for Stepney to leave, when an idea flew into Duck's funnel. "Beg pardon, sir, but what if we were to give the new branch line to Stepney? That way he could be a really useful engine and live on Sodor." "I don't know about that, Duck," replied the Fat Controller. "I shall have to telephone his old railway and see if they will allow it." So the Fat Controller went away to make some arrangements. When he returned, he had good news. "Stepney's owner has agreed that he can stay and work on the new branch line for as long as we need him to." "Thank you very much, sir," said Stepney, as he beamed from buffer to buffer.